If I told you that by changing just one single habit, you could simultaneously improve your health, work, productivity, relationships, and financial situation, would you believe me? I know it sounds too good to be true, but what if I showed you 3 real people who completely transformed their lives using this exact method? Sarah went from being overweight and exhausted to running marathons. Mike transformed from a chronic procrastinator to a high-performing entrepreneur, and Lisa went from financial chaos to complete financial freedom. All of them started with just one habit. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to reveal the core habit secret that 97% of people completely ignore. Here's a shocking statistic that might surprise you. Studies show that 92% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. 92%. That means if you've ever struggled to stick to a good habit, you're definitely not alone. But here's the real question. Why do most people fail at building habits, while a small percentage seem to effortlessly transform their entire lives? The answer lies in something called Keystone habits, and most people have never even heard of this concept. Today, you're going to discover what Keystone habits are, how they work, and most importantly, how to identify and build your own life-changing core habit. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete 90-day plan to transform your life, starting with just one simple habit. Let me start by explaining why 97% of people fail at building habits. There are 3 critical reasons that most people never address. First, willpower is a limited resource. Scientists have discovered that willpower works like a muscle. It gets tired throughout the day. When you try to change multiple habits at once, you're essentially asking your willpower muscle to lift weights all day long. It's going to fail. Second, most people suffer from what I call habit overload. They try to exercise, eat healthy, wake up early, meditate, read more, and organize their life all at the same time. This creates a cognitive burden that your brain simply cannot handle. Think of it like trying to juggle 10 balls. When you've never juggled before, you're going to drop all of them. Third, people lack systematic thinking. They focus on individual habits instead of understanding how habits connect and influence each other. This is like trying to fix a car by only looking at one part instead of understanding how the entire engine works together. Can you relate to any of these? I want you to pause for a moment and think about this. What habit have you tried to build in the past that didn't stick? Drop a comment below and let me know, because understanding your past failures is the first step to future success. Now let me introduce you to the game-changing concept that successful people use Keystone habits. A Keystone habit is a single habit that naturally triggers positive changes in other areas of your life. Think of it like the first domino in a chain reaction. When you push that first domino, it automatically causes all the other dominoes to fall in sequence. The same thing happens with Keystone habits. When you establish one core habit, it creates a ripple effect that improves multiple areas of your life without requiring additional willpower. Here's the fascinating science behind this. When you perform a habit, your brain creates neural pathways. But Keystone habits are special because they strengthen the neural networks responsible for self-control, decision-making, and goal achievement. This means that one good habit actually makes it easier to build other good habits. Let me give you a real-world example. In 1987, Paul O'Neill became the CEO of Alcoa, a struggling aluminum company. Instead of focusing on profits or productivity, he focused on one single thing: worker safety. He made it his keystone habit to eliminate workplace injuries. What happened next was remarkable. As safety improved, communication between workers and management improved. As communication improved, efficiency increased. As efficiency increased, quality went up. And as quality went up, costs went down and profits soared. Alcoa's stock price increased by over 2,000% during O'Neill's tenure, all because he focused on one keystone habit. I want you to pause the video right now and think about this question. What could be your keystone habit? What's one change that might trigger positive effects in multiple areas of your life? Let me share with you the 5 most powerful keystone habits that science has validated. These are the habits that consistently create the biggest positive chain reactions in people's lives. The first keystone habit is morning exercise. This doesn't mean you need to become a gym fanatic overnight. Start with just 15 minutes of movement each morning. It could be a walk around the block, some basic stretching, or light body weight exercises. Here's why morning exercise is so powerful as a keystone habit. It improves your sleep quality because your body craves rest after physical activity. It enhances your food choices because exercise naturally makes you want to fuel your body with nutritious foods. It increases your work focus because physical activity releases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which improves cognitive function. And it boosts your confidence because you start each day with an immediate win. I know a CEO who credits his entire success to a simple morning jog that he started 20 years ago. The second keystone habit is meditation or mindfulness. Practice just 10 minutes of daily meditation can transform your emotional regulation, decision-making abilities, and relationships. When you meditate regularly, you develop what neuroscientists call cognitive flexibility. This means you become better at managing stress, making thoughtful decisions instead of reactive ones, and communicating more effectively with others. The brain scans of people who meditate regularly show increased gray matter in areas associated with learning, memory, and emotional regulation. One study found that just 8 weeks of meditation practice led to measurable changes in brain structure. The third keystone habit is daily reading and learning. Commit to reading for 30 minutes each day, whether it's books, articles, or educational content. This habit creates a compound effect on your knowledge, critical thinking skills, and career opportunities. Warren Buffett reads for 5 to 6 hours every day and credits this habit as the foundation of his success. When you read consistently, you develop better vocabulary, improved analytical thinking, and expanded perspectives that influence every decision you make. The fourth keystone habit is reflection and journaling. Spend just 5 minutes each evening, writing down your thoughts, experiences, or lessons learned. This simple practice dramatically improves your self-awareness, helps you achieve your goals more effectively, and develops your emotional intelligence. You can use a traditional notebook or a digital app, whatever feels more natural to you. The key is consistency, not perfection. The fifth keystone habit is organization and tidiness. Spend 10 minutes each evening organizing your space. This might seem simple, but research in environmental psychology shows that organized environments lead to better mental clarity, increased productivity, and even better financial decision-making. When your external environment is organized, your internal mental state becomes more organized too. Now, how do you identify which keystone habit is right for you? This is crucial because the wrong choice can lead to frustration and failure. I'm going to walk you through a personalized assessment process. First, ask yourself these 3 questions. What area of your life needs the most improvement right now? What time of day do you have the most energy and consistency? What type of activity naturally energizes you rather than draining you? Next, use what I call habit mapping. Draw a circle in the center of a piece of paper and write your biggest life challenge. Then, around that circle, write all the smaller problems that connect to that main issue. For example, if your main challenge is low energy, you might write poor sleep, unhealthy eating, lack of exercise, high stress, and disorganization. Now, look for the habit that could positively impact the most connected problems. This is likely your keystone habit. The third principle is value alignment. Your keystone habit must align with your core values and long-term goals. If you value health, but chose a Keystone habit focused only on productivity, you're likely to struggle with consistency. Here's a common mistake I see people make. They choose habits that sound impressive rather than habits that feel authentic to them. Don't choose meditation just because successful people do it, if you're someone who finds more peace in physical movement. Don't choose morning workouts if you're naturally a night person and could be more consistent with evening activities. I want you to pause this video right now and spend 5 minutes completing this assessment. Seriously, take the time to do this because choosing the right Keystone habit is the difference between success and another failed attempt. Now, let me give you the complete 90-day system for building your Keystone habit. This isn't just theory, this is a proven framework that I've used with thousands of people. Days 1 through 21 are your habit establishment phase. This is where you focus on consistency over intensity. Use what I call the 2-minute rule. Your habit should take no longer than 2 minutes to complete initially. If you want to start exercising, begin with 2 minutes of movement. If you want to meditate, start with 2 minutes of breathing. If you want to read more, start with just 2 minutes of reading. This might seem ridiculously small, but here's why it works. You're training your brain to recognize the new behavior as normal and non-threatening. During this phase, focus heavily on environment design. If you want to exercise, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to read, place a book on your pillow. If you want to meditate, set up a specific spot with a cushion or chair. Make the good habit as easy as possible and remove any barriers. Also, establish a clear reward system. After completing your 2-minute habit, give yourself a small, immediate reward. This could be checking off a box on a calendar, giving yourself a mental high five, or enjoying a healthy treat. The key is to celebrate immediately after the behavior to reinforce the neural pathway. Days 22 through 66 are your habit strengthening phase. Now you can gradually increase the intensity and duration of your habit. If you started with 2 minutes of exercise, maybe increase to 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, and so on. But here's the crucial part. If you miss a day, use the 3R principle. Remind yourself why this habit matters to you. Reduce the habit back to the easiest version, even if it's just the 2-minute version. And restart immediately. Don't wait until tomorrow or next week. During this phase, build your social support system. Tell friends and family about your habit. Find an accountability partner or join a community of people working on similar goals. Share your progress on social media if that motivates you. The key is to make your habit change visible to others who can support and encourage you. Days 67 through 90 are your habit solidification phase. By now, your Keystone habit should feel relatively automatic. This is when you can start applying habit stacking, which means attaching additional small habits to your established routine. For example, if morning exercise is your Keystone habit, you might add 2 minutes of gratitude practice right after your workout. The goal is to expand the positive chain reaction while maintaining the strength of your core habit. This is also when you'll start noticing the broader life changes that your Keystone habit has triggered. Document these changes because they'll motivate you to maintain the habit long-term. Let me share 3 real transformation stories to show you the power of Keystone habits in action. Sarah was a 35-year-old marketing manager who was 50 pounds overweight and constantly exhausted. She tried countless diets and exercise programs, but nothing stuck. Then she decided to focus on just one Keystone habit, a 10-minute morning walk. That's it, just 10 minutes. Within the first month, she noticed she was sleeping better. Better sleep led to better food choices. Better food choices gave her more energy. More energy made her want to walk. Longer walks led to joining a hiking group, which improved her social life. 2 years later, Sarah has completed 3 marathons and says that 10-minute morning walk was the domino that changed everything. Mike was a freelance graphic designer who struggled with chronic procrastination and inconsistent income. He would start projects with enthusiasm, but rarely finish them on time. His keystone habit was 5 minutes of morning journaling, where he wrote down his 3 most important tasks for the day. This simple practice improved his self-awareness and planning abilities. Better planning led to better time management. Better time management led to higher quality work. Higher quality work led to better clients and higher rates within 18 months. Mike had tripled his income and launched a successful design agency. Lisa was drowning in debt with no clear financial plan. Her keystone habit was spending 5 minutes each evening tracking her expenses in a simple app. This tiny habit made her aware of her spending patterns. Awareness led to better spending decisions. Better spending decisions freed up money to pay down debt. As her debt decreased, her confidence increased. Increased confidence led her to ask for a raise at work and start a side business. 3 years later, Lisa is completely debt-free and has 6 months of expenses saved in her emergency fund. What do all these stories have in common? Each person focused on one small, manageable habit that aligned with their values and naturally triggered positive changes in other areas. They didn't try to transform everything at once. They trusted the process and let the keystone habit do the heavy lifting. Before we move to the conclusion, let me warn you about the 7 most common mistakes people make when trying to build keystone habits. Mistake number 1, choosing a habit that's too ambitious. Don't start with an hour of exercise if you haven't worked out in years. Start small and build up. Mistake number 2, trying to build multiple habits simultaneously. Focus on one keystone habit until it becomes automatic, then consider adding others. Mistake number 3, ignoring environmental factors. Your environment should make the good habit easy and the bad habit difficult. Mistake number 4, relying too heavily on willpower. Use systems, triggers, and environmental design instead of trying to muscle through with motivation alone. Mistake number 5, lacking a clear trigger mechanism. Your habit needs a specific time, place, or preceding event that signals it's time to perform the behavior. Mistake number 6, not tracking your progress. What gets measured gets managed. Use a simple calendar, app, or journal to track your consistency. Mistake number 7, perfectionist thinking. You don't need to perform your habit perfectly every single day. Consistency matters more than perfection. If you miss a day, just get back on track the next day without guilt or self-criticism. Let me quickly recap the core insights from this video. 97% of people fail at building habits because they rely on willpower alone, try to change too much at once, and don't understand how habits connect to each other. Keystone habits are single habits that create positive chain reactions in multiple areas of your life. The 5 most powerful keystone habits are morning exercise, meditation, daily reading, reflection, journaling, and organization. To find your keystone habit, assess your biggest challenges, use habit mapping, and ensure the habit aligns with your values. The 90-day system involves 3 phases: establishment, strengthening, and solidification, with specific strategies for each phase. Remember, success comes from starting small and trusting the compound effect of consistent action. Now I want to hear from you. Which keystone habit are you going to start with? Drop a comment below and share your choice. I read every single comment and I love seeing what resonates with different people. Also, have you ever experienced a positive chain reaction from one good habit? Maybe you started exercising and noticed it improved other areas of your life, or you began reading and saw improvements in your career. Share your story in the comments, because your experience might inspire someone else to start their transformation journey. I'm also launching a 90-day Keystone Habit Challenge for our community. If you want to join hundreds of other people who are committed to building life-changing habits, check the description below for details on how to participate. We'll have weekly check-ins, accountability partners, and expert guidance throughout the entire process. If this video helped you understand why your previous habit attempts failed and gave you a clear path forward, please hit that like button. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable and helps more people discover these life-changing strategies. And if you want weekly videos on productivity, personal development, and proven methods for improving your life, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. I put hours of research into every video to bring you actionable insights that actually work. Before you go, I want you to do one thing: share this video with one person in your life who could benefit from this information. Maybe it's a friend who's struggling with consistency, a family member who wants to make positive changes, or a colleague who's interested in personal development. Sometimes the best gift you can give someone is the knowledge that could transform their life. Remember this: you are not broken if you failed at building habits before. You just didn't have the right strategy. You're not lacking willpower or discipline. You were simply missing the understanding of how Keystone habits work. Now you have that knowledge. The only question is, what are you going to do with it? Your ideal life isn't some distant fantasy, it's just one habit away. Choose your Keystone habit, start with 2 minutes, and trust the process. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive deep into the most challenging Keystone habits to build and exactly how to overcome the obstacles that stop most people. Until then, remember that small changes lead to remarkable results.